Alright, this is a video on you finding your bony landmarks for the spine and the hip unit that we're doing right now. So to start with, just some different aspects of the vertebrae themselves. Obviously this is the cervical section, thoracic section, lumbar section. This is the sacrum and the coccyx. Okay, so you need to be familiar with the areas in general. But on specific vertebrae, there's some things that you're going to be able to palpate on your partner that are important. One in particular is the spinous processes, which is the part that sticks out on the posterior aspect of the spine. Okay, the other part that you can feel of sometimes are going to be these transverse processes, and they're going to be easier to find in the cervical. You're not going to be able to really identify the transverse processes on these other tissues because there's just so much tissue that you have to try to get down to. You can know where the aspect of them is if you're pushing in this area, you know, about an inch away from the spinous process, you'll know the transverse is right there, but it's going to be harder for you to actually feel of it the way that you can in the cervical. Okay. The other part is the lamina groove, which is the space that's in between the spinous and the transverse process. Okay, so you can kind of dig into that area. There's lots of muscle tissue that's in this lamina groove that we'll be going over, but you can feel the aspect of that. As far as getting an idea of where you're at on the spine, the top of the shoulders here is going to be level with C7. Okay, so obviously I don't have, you know, muscle tissue, the upper trap coming down, but if you put your hand on top of someone like this and you slide over to the middle, that's typically going to be level with about C7 spinous process. Okay, if you can find the superior angle of the scapula and you slide over to the spine on that one, then that's going to be level with T2. Okay, the inferior pole of the scapula, if you slide over on that one, it's level with the spinous process of T7. If you find the last rib, the 12th rib, which is the floating rib, and you slide over, that's the spinous process of T12. If you find the iliac crest and you slide over to the spinous on that one, that's L4. Another very important landmark for you, because we're talking about the hip quite a bit with this one too, is the PSIS. That's posterior superior iliac spine. We just call it PSIS. But if you find the PSIS and you slide over, you're going to be level with the S1, S2. I think most of the textbooks say S2, but on my skeleton it's more level with S1, but we'll call it S2 right here. Okay. Obviously, you'll have to do some palpation for the sacrum. We've got some ligaments that cover that we'll go over, some muscle tissue like multifidi that'll cover it. We've got some attachments of deep external rotators that are going to be over here at the lower part of the sacrum, going to the femur. The other ones are going to be over here on the ischium. And then the coccyx, which we won't be palpating on each other. And that's it.